This is Jason Long with Long Talks Video Podcasts, Section 2, with Rasunn and Tim Montgomery, and we're going to talk about the NIL going forward. Please welcome both of these guys to the show.
Hey, good evening. As you well know, most of you probably heard of NIL, which is the name, image, and likeness. This is a game changer. It's already in college where basically it allows for endorsements, scholarships, partnerships, and overall business relationships for aspiring athletes on and off the field. This new policy allows for student athletes to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness. This is a game changer for parents. A lot of parents have been training their youth for years and years. One of the first high school players who actually broke through was Mikey Williams. He's a basketball player. He signed like a $3 million endorsement deal. I think it was with Adidas or Puma, one or the other. But he signed a big endorsement deal, and other people are doing it too. Now, 7 states have joined in on this, and that's like a big-time game changer as well, because that's going to force other states to join as well. But the topic I'm going to touch on is right quick is the rules of the marketing yourself for these deals, and this is for parents so that they're aware. One, make it easy for brands to find you. So that means social media, all the branches of it, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Twitter,
all of them. I mean,
right.
As much as you can put your athlete out there, the better it is. More people are going to see him and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's what you want brands to see your athlete so that they can reach out. 2, you got to consistently post content on your social media feeds. So whether it be training, the games, any type of volunteer work they might do,
anything that's going to get them exposure.
Exactly. Good exposure. Right. And it's got to be high quality content. That's number 3. Number 4, use your content to represent your brand. Jay-Z said it. He said he's not a business. He's a businessman. You get it? Mm-hmm. You got to brand your name into a business. Right. The people that take advantage of this it's a game changer for your whole household.
It is. You either get it or you do not get it.
Right. And number 5, last but not least, if you see a brand that you like, DM them and let them know how you love to work with them. Brands are actually looking for the next person to represent them. And you know how things go. Once a wave hits, and now the wave's going to be...
The passing of the torches.
Right. It's going to be high school kids and stuff, and
yes.
Those brands are going to reach out for those kids to be endorsers and sponsors and stuff like that. So,
it's looking for the kid that represents whether it's Nike, Adidas, Puma, whoever it is, that has their leadership qualities and what they represent and who they want to represent them.
Yeah. And that's why I say, and I stress so much about the younger kids now, what they do on their social media accounts. Mm-hmm. Once you put something in writing off into the cloud, you can't pull it back. It's out there. And a lot of kids lose scholarships about what they put on their Facebook.
It takes one time.
So I'm saying this to make sure parents understand you have to educate your kids on social media. It's here. It's never going away. This is the information age.
Now let me ask you both a question here, because both your kids are the same age, if I remember correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, actually, they're born a day apart.
Okay. So here you go. So how hard is it? And we've done this with Carson. How hard is it when you say, "Hey, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone."
You know what though? You lose a lot with that, but I think we definitely need to educate our kids on social media awareness on what they post. And right now, my son doesn't actually have a Facebook or Instagram. He has a Snap which he communicates with his mother with, but in all likeness, you need to really. That's different from where we come from as coaches.
But now hold on. Let me ask you a question.
That's something that we need to come up with and actually, you have to coach that right now.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Now, I'm going to let you guys go on this. I'm not going to interrupt you except for this, because this is a good subject. So I go to a baseball meeting, and the person that I will not say a name held the meeting and said, "Hey, you know what? This is what the stupid stuff we need to really be aware of. My son had a toy gun that was spray painted silver, blah, 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 blah." And I explained to him how that could be perceived as a actual weapon, which stuff that's going on in our community, which is, it's very legitimate, controversial conversation, whatever you want to call it. So I come home, whatever day it is, and my son's got the same thing, and I see these little Orbeez that are in the kitchen, and long story short, where a kid has got a back where we used to call them Intertech guns, where it would shoot water. Now they shoot Orbeez, but how quick a prank can turn into a lost scholarship, suspension, loss of everything over a stupid joke, and how kids don't understand that. And I don't mean to throw my son under the bus or anybody else under the bus, but it is that quick of a decision that something that is they don't mean any harm can end how much time that we put into our kids over something that's innocent. Back in the day when we used to have squirt guns and we would shoot squirt guns. So going forward, that was brought up. That was brought up in the actual baseball meeting that I went through, and guns were no harm, no foul, they want to call it, were colored to go forward. So,
well, like I said, the age we're in now is the information age, and I'm going to take this into the workforce. I had a meeting this week, and it was about email etiquette, and people putting certain stuff on their email. I told them, I said, you better watch what you put in your emails, because they can do a FOIA and pull all information out of there. And I said, I don't put anything in writing that I ain't afraid to see on Channel 7 News. Because that could very well happen. You could be on all the news channels by what you put in an email. So you better be very careful.
Funny you say that, because we had that conversation this week.
So
it's a younger generation thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't understand that it follows them. They can be FOIA'd, and how to speak to your boss. We had a long conversation about that. How you speak to people.
Absolutely.
But this is the thing. We only spend so much time as youth sports leaders. That's really a topic that needs to be brought to parents. As a parent, you try to give your kids privacy, and believe it or not, you really tried, and it actually fails you because social media is so messed up now. Everything goes on there. So how do you give your kid privacy when it's all type of things that people are trying to entice your kids with? You got OnlyFans, you got pervs on. It's messed up because as a parent, you want your kid to grow up, but there's so many devils out there.
right.
And what do you do to stop that? It's like almost, I don't trust my kid. I'm not. I trust you, but I don't want the predators to get you.
It's like, who do you trust?
You can't trust anybody.
You
Right.
can't even trust the man of the cloth no more.
Right. So, and then that, man, I tell you what, we keep coming up with topics. That's another
Hey,
topic.
what's her name?
What's
her
that?
name? Brittany Grinder, whatever her name is.
She's not even talked
these are
about.
grown men
She's stuck in
that
Russia.
still being sued by internet vixens that just want to have a baby with you and divorce you, get married to you, and rob you of your riches.
Right.
It's not. It's actually that's a course that needs to be taught. I think Deion Sanders had made his players go through it. You have to teach that at youth sports because that's not going to happen in college, and I mean just happen in college and professional level. That's going to happen in high school. He got game taught us that. Voila. Like there's so many women that are coached up to this by parents, and that's a real topic. And you got a star athlete, and he don't have a father at home, and this other father grabs him and introduces him to his daughter. It's that easy to be connected to the wrong source. So that's a topic that definitely is need to be brought up in youth sports, and definitely for black young athletes.
So if I said in a week that I wanted to come back, and one of the topics that I wanted to do with the both of you was what is lacking and let's just throw this out there, what is lacking in black youth sports that you would instill? Would that be a topic that we could actually go off of? Because
Well, I wouldn't just say youth sports. I'd say youth period. There are certain things that are done that our community wasn't really privy to. I'm just going to go one example because I don't want to, like I said, segue into something totally different.
Right.
Okay. My kids, right? This is me, and this is what I do. My kids. I know for their future they're going to need things. They're not going to teach you about credit and all that stuff in school. They just don't do that. So as a parent, on my credit cards, I'll put them on my cards as a, they're not going to be able to use my cards to purchase anything, but I'll build their credit for them so that when it's time for them to try to purchase something, a car or whatever, they get 16, 17, they have credit.
right.
We had to learn these things on our own through reading the books and stuff like that.
Or learning the hard way.
Right. But
They don't give you your finance course at all.
right. So those type of things are the things that I would believe that we need to instill and encourage, because it should be the parents at home, but some kids' situations are just totally different.
Right.
And
Nobody's the same. Nobody absolutely is the same.
And my thing is, like I said before, we talk about this all the time, is I can have all the knowledge in the world, but me dying taking that shit with me doesn't do anybody else any good. I need to pass everything I know to everyone that I love or any kids that I coach. You know what I mean?
Right.
Knowledge is no good when you keep it to yourself.
Right. Exactly right. You die with it and nobody benefits from it.
Right.
Absolutely right. Rasunn, do you have anything else that you want to add going forward without me going into what I've got?
No, not really.
Tim, do you have anything else?
I'll let you go ahead. I might bring it back at the end.
Well, actually, I do.
Go ahead, Rasunn. Go ahead.
So, to stay on topic as leaders, I would like to see more high school coaches reach out to not the parents or the player. I want to see high school coaches reach out to the coaches that's actually mentoring these young men to see where they're head at and what could they add to get him to the level or teach him the things that you're going to teach him. I think right now the buck ain't passed along. I think secrets are held. And then, you get him up there and you see that he's raw because what you're teaching is different than what we're teaching. I think that we can actually have the best D1 athletes, and they don't have to come out of Texas or Florida. If only the high school coaches would actually reach out and actually give us the information to help us teach what they're going to learn. Like, you're recruiting a kid, but you want to recruit him through the coach.
So if we had we're trying to and I don't mean to interrupt you. So if we had a separate conversation, which I think we could talk a lot on this would be a good subject. Was how do you deal with letting go of an 8th grade athlete into the hands of a high school coach?
Well,
Is that kind of where we were going, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a topic. I think just high school coaches now just want to be bothered with the youth coach just to meet the parent and then the kid, and then he erase everything that he actually learned, and then say your youth coach can teach you shit.
But that goes with what I just said earlier, and it's and this is we call it LOL, whatever you want to call it. It's once we release that kid from the 8th grade level to the high school, we're out of control, trying to control the uncontrollable, and that's where it's the hardest part, because we put so much time and effort, and we can control our kids up into that level. Then once they reach the 8th grade level, it's, don't come up and bring your kid a Gatorade to the dugout. Don't bring them anything. If they forget it, they forget it. It's a whole new game, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's a night and day difference from where we were nurturing that kid, and they're boom.
Well, you watch them be successful,
right?
well,
and then you know what's so funny though, and this goes for even the pros. You watch a college athlete come out of there and win a Heisman, and go to the pros, and he's nothing. It's all about what system they say, what system he got gave to. But if you actually took the time to learn this kid for when he was successful, I think that you wouldn't want to put on him your system. Know what he was successful at and where his mind is working, and then either take on that coach and help him get him where you want him to be. And I think that's the transition. Most guys don't care about the transition; they just want the player because what they see he can do. But
right.
The transition is so important.
yeah.
That if you transition him to your system with him already knowing it, then we come up just sharp, and he gets it.
And I think, like, going forward, not only us, because like I said, we do talk to a few coaches here and there, and there's been more that's been reaching out, and we'll continue this year. Like the guy from Montini, of course, Bill from St. Rita, then you got Mount Carmel, then you got Brown, them from Brother Rice, and you got Joliet Catholic. Because most of the schools are going to reach out to our kids because it's going to be like the Catholic League, other than the regular area that they stay in. But my thing about high school and when they reach out, it's, what do you want our kid for? Why do you want this kid? What are you going to provide? My biggest three things are education, environment, and finances. When you're talking about the Catholic schools.
Right.
Because those prices are ridiculous. Are you just going to use this kid to get a state championship? Or are you going to really provide them something that they can take along with them in the future?
And you're talking about high school level, correct?
Yeah, once they're,
right.
because they're in 8th grade. They're being recruited. Our team was being recruited last year. We've been invited to.
Well, I just want to make sure that anybody listening wasn't confusing high school onto the collegiate level. So I just make sure they understand.
But on a different level, it's the same thing.
Okay.
But since we're talking
I would
about.
definitely.
Because a lot of people don't understand, like where we were at back in the day in the mid '80s, that people were being recruited through Bishop McNamara, and I won't throw any names out there, but yeah, you were compensated to go there. So I just wanted, not to throw it off that we're talking as a high school level ongoing where you're going to go to high school at. It still exists.
Yeah, and
I was just gonna say I would love the topic one day to be why so many Illinois high school talents going out of state.
Right. That
would
be a great topic. That would be because that would uncover a lot of stuff. Right.
Oh man.
Right.
Hence why I say
I'll actually write that down.
And you don't have to, because this is going to come right back up.
Okay.
This is going to come right back up through the name, image, and likeness, because guess what? The big tech places in the West Coast, they got all the big money. If I give your kid a contract.
I know where this is going.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can bring Rasunn could be the #1 kid in the country, and he could be like, oh man, I'm going to Alabama, right? And he could be dead set on going to Alabama. But somebody from Oregon, because you know who supports Oregon, Nike and all that.
Yep.
They reach out to Rasunn and say, oh,
You
we
never
want to
know.
give you an NI deal for this
You
amount.
never know about the uniforms, though.
But I'm just saying.
I know.
That will
I'm
recruit.
telling you, it's a lot deeper than just uniforms and conversation and a little money in play. But it's a real reason why Illinois kids don't stay home. And I think it starts at our level. I think the coaches, the youth coaches, the high school coaches, we all have a play in it. And I think it's a real deep topic that needs to be discovered because it's a lot of talent in Illinois, and we all spread out.
All right, so let's do this. Let's wrap this up in the next 5 minutes, and we have a lot of topics that we can come back on. As long as both of you agree, we can come back within the next week, and we'll pick up on where we left off at. But I'll give the both of you guys, just for the time of our social media, I'll give you guys 5 minutes between the two of you to go ahead and have, not closing arguments, but just closing statements here.
We love being on these type of platforms. For one, we want to be leaders in the community and mentor the youth as well. And also, we want to brand our team. You know, we've got a great team coming in this year. They have a chance to be 3-time national champions. If you don't mind us using your platform,
Nope.
we want to, get it out for our people. Like I said, because the Midwest football is not respected.
And
it's
that's
not talked about.
And that's what we are here for, is to get it out and to get people recognition where recognition is deserved. So I hate to interrupt you, but go ahead and go forward. And that's what our social media platform is here for.
And that's the thing. That's why I sent you the friend request, or the invites rather, for Midwest Youth Football Live. There's a few others that were in National Youth Football. As we grow, we could move the higher platforms to where it's all across. Like I said, I just believe that we'll be helping each other.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Rasunn, come on, baby. You got 2.5 minutes now.
Real quick, man. You said 5 minutes, but I'm gonna give it to you short and sweet.
No, you take your time.
Shout out Superstar Spotlight.
Yeah.
I like to shout out University Park Lions, Midwest Hawks, Homewood Vikings,
Clash of KC, Generation Next,
KC Clash of KC.
It's like the Grammy Awards, man. What the heck's going on here?
And I just want to commend all these brothers who are doing a great job with these young men. And I just want to say, keep it up, because believe it or not, winning at the top level is not what we seek out for with these young men. It's just a blessing to be able to do it. And without you brothers that's all doing this, none of these kids can have a promised land. Whether they go to high school, college, or the pros, you guys are teaching them fundamental skills, like you said,
life
leaders,
Right.
turning other leaders to leaders. So that's my shout out to you guys, because believe it or not, without you guys who taught us how to do it, we wouldn't be able to do it. So salute.
So can I count on you guys? And it doesn't have to be every Saturday, but let's just go forward. Saturday after Saturday, let's do a segment to where my big thing is leadership. Let's knock the entrepreneurship off, but let's kind of keep elaborating on how it relates to student athletes, because I really think the more people we get to listen to this, and the more leaders that we can develop throughout the student athlete program, the better they're going to be even if they don't do athletes past the high school level. And I really think, I don't care if you're black, white, whatever color you are, is that you really need leadership and entrepreneurships developed provided by past the high school level. So if you guys are open to it, I think going forward, we can shoot for next Saturday afternoon around 6 p.m. and we'll go from there. We'll see what feedback we get back from there, and we can go forward from there.
I can take an hour out of my time away from my beauty spa.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, shout out to High Performance Fitness, too. Great program.
Yeah, Chris Calmes.
Chris Calmes, give him his prop. I tell you what, that guy, I've never hated furniture movers more before I met him. Oh, my Lord, dude. First time I ever puked in a garbage can. So, yeah, we'll have to get Chris on here sometime. But anyways, again, I want to thank Rasunn and Tim Montgomery for coming on here on Long Talks Video Podcast.
Thank you.
And we will have this leadership podcast again next Saturday, 6 p.m., give or take a little bit of time. And once again, Rasunn, Tim, thank you guys so much for being on the show, and we'll see you next Saturday.